Okay, the base here, going to use oil finish on it. Ugh, dirty. Okay, so this is the finished result. The surface has been stained, and just what I did was I just hammered in some nails on the bottom here, because you're not going to see that anyways. So I just used this wood oil to stain the base, and it looks pretty nice. So I have a lot of other different models I want to start working on, but I believe I owe it to myself to just go ahead and finish this. The reason I've been putting this off is because I've never put together a diorama before. So this is your chance to see someone either do a good job the first time around or completely screw up. So we'll see. So the Ohmu, I haven't even opened this up until today. I had this boxed up and wrapped in bubble wrap and see if it survived. And with all the legs intact, I might have to reassemble it. But I don't see any loose pieces in the bag. I think they did a good job protecting it, looks like. Ah, nice. Alright. Well, that's safe. Now, I had taken out the Nausicaa figure a couple months ago, and the little sword broke off. I'll have to reattach the sword. So, anyhow, just like in the movie, let me put this down more. There. Okay, so like in the movie here, I have the Ohmu heading towards water, and Nausicaa's trying to stop him from going into the acid water, the acid lake. So, it's going to be putting on, I'm going to set this on this wooden base, and then glue it on top here. So, what I want to do is kind of have it sloped down a little bit. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, I bought this before I moved to Japan. Cellu clay. This is basically paper mâché. Get it wet and just kind of make a mess with your hands and just kind of slab it on stuff. I'm going to be doing that. And I have this here, this ballast, for like model railroads. I'm going to use this as a sand to glue it on top of that when it's dry. And I'll probably use, because I want to put some water here. Now, I didn't know what to do in Japan about that kind of thing. This guy I know in Tokyo, he's been here for many years, and he says use this stuff called Liquitex Medium's acrylic to gel medium. He says that this is works well for water. I think I'm going to test it out, see how it dries, if it looks clear or what. So, yeah. And I think I might paint the sand underneath the water part with like a brown or something like that to make it look more wet underneath. So, okay, so here we go. Now, let me move all this stuff out of the way here. Move Nausicaa out of the way. Okay, so here is the base I'm going to be working with. Now this just be put away for later. So what I want to do is maybe kind of cut out a little bit here. Just going to use a box cutter knife, I guess. See how this works. Again, I don't really know what I'm doing. It's going to be messy, I'm sure. But, oh well, I'll just clean up. Okay. This is like a really, really tough kind of styrofoam. This is quite a bit different than something like this, which is really soft. Maybe I don't know. I didn't want to get something that's very thick, though. I bought this at a Joann's craft store sometime last year when I was getting ready to do this, and of course I never got around to building it. Okay. Take a little bit off more. But yeah, I just want to create the illusion of a little beach area. And I'm going to be also using a bunch of just regular Elmer's glue all. Elmer's school glue. During this construction here. Which is nice because it's non-toxic. Dries fast. And it won't attach plastic either. Okay, I think that's most what I want to... I don't want to take off any more. Because if I screw this up, I'm going to have to try it again on another piece of styrofoam. Alright, so here we go. That looks nice, I think. Now, paper mache gets pretty messy. What I'm probably going to do is take my cutting mat out of the way and put down some newspaper. Okay, I just did a little bit of setting up. A couple of months ago I had experimented with this, and it doesn't really require any exact size, it seems. You just put some amount of the stuff into a bowl. Paper mache. Stuff is like finely ground newspaper or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I haven't touched paper mache since I was a little child, so it's weird. Alright. Well, this will be enough for now. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. So I think I might build this up with layers, maybe. Who knows? And well, because it took me like several days for this stuff to dry, so be an excuse just to put this aside and work on some other models in the meantime. All right, so I got my Evangelion water here. I filled it up with tap water. I already drank it, but here's Asuka's sexy body here. Yay! All right, I'm just using it just as a water bottle. So I'll throw in some water here and work it up into a batter of sorts. Try not to put too much water though. Yuck. This is very messy. It's pretty gross. Okay, so this is what it's turning like a dark gray here. Just keep working it all up so that there's no dry spots. Well, this looks nice. Okay. Alright, So, oops, smacked the camera a little bit. Let's just kind of smear this all over here. I want to just get like maybe a thin coat of it, I suppose, at first. Okay, it seems to be that this stuff is this is a really textured surface. So it seems to me that the best way to make this really stick is just to kind of just smush it into the texture, and when it dries it'll be pretty solid. The styrofoam is full of holes, so if I just keep smearing this flat, kind of grinding it into the styrofoam, then that's probably the best way to get this to stick to the styrofoam so it won't come apart. Okay, so with that bit that I made of the paper mache, it's all except for the bottom side. It doesn't really need to be made, I'm sure, but I covered the whole surface here. I'm just kind of smoothing it out a little bit. So after this dries, what I'm going to do is kind of make it more of a gradation, more of a hill, like a downhill slope, and towards the beach here, because this part here is going to be the water, the acid lake. There's a word in Japanese, mendokusai. Mendokusai. It doesn't really directly translate to a single English word, but basically it means just kind of like you just don't feel like doing it. You don't feel like ever getting around to doing it. It's kind of tiresome and troublesome, so you're just kind of putting it off. That is kind of how I feel about this this model. I've never done a diorama before, and it's turning out to be kind of difficult. It's, you know, I haven't really screwed things up, but I'm still going forward. I'm just not making much progress because I don't feel like doing it most of the time. So first of all, what I want to do is repaint this. Well, not totally like do it all over again, but what I'm going to do is just do like a really more of an obvious gray wash. An Ohmu has a lighter color than this. I've been looking at just the end of the Nausicaa movie for a basis, and that's why this is kind of colored like it's, you know, at dark nighttime. So it doesn't really work very well for diorama, I don't think. I'm gonna give this a more obvious gray wash, and then it should hopefully look pretty nice after that. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. This is finished. Well, not really finished. I gave up on it. I didn't like this. First of all, this is just too hard. Didn't really like it. I'm not going to use this. And when this dried, this is the paper mache. I did this back in September 2012. Now it is March 2013. It kind of worked. I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but it's kind of bent, and so it will not lay flat on that display block of wood. So I'm going to just throw this out. This doesn't, I don't know, too sloppy. What I'm going to do is just probably give that paper mache to my wife and my daughter. Let them have fun with it. But that's going in the trash. Instead, what I want to do is use like more of a softer styrofoam. It'll probably be easier to cut. And once I cut this down to size, I can maybe work with it a bit better, a little bit more easily. This is just a block of styrofoam I'm using to, you know, put these in when I've spray painted something. But yeah, I'm going to just cut this down, make it fit. I'm still going to use this ballast. It's the sand ballast. I'm going to just glue on some, just going to glue it onto the finished product. And instead of paper mache, I'm going to use this Mr. Diorama, yes, the Japanese pronunciation, diorama clay, Mr. Diorama clay. This is made by GSI Crayons, Kunzei Sangyo, although they don't call themselves Kunzei Sangyo anymore. GSI Crayons, and they're the company that makes the hobby colored paints and the Gundam color paints. So I'm going to use this clay, and it says here it's easy to use, blah blah blah, and I guess it just air dries after a while. So yeah, after hardening it becomes almost waterproof, so paint can be applied on it. Well, that's neat. So this is like a dark brown. I got two packages just in case. The other one's sand. Oh, this is my first choice to use. I didn't have any more of this color, so I just got this brown color. Doesn't really matter. It's going to be covered with sand anyways. So, as I mentioned earlier, this Liquitex, it was recommended to me by a guy in Tokyo that this is what he uses for water. It's like a gel. It's a acrylic gel medium. I tested some of it out in this cup here. It's a bit lacking. I was not really happy. As you can see, it's not perfectly clear. It's kind of... I'm not going to say what it looks like, but it doesn't look like water. Yeah. It looks kind of gross. So, I'm not going to be using this stuff after all. And I was really happy to finally find this stuff, but, you know, too bad. However, what I will be using is this. Let me back up a bit here. Tamiya Clear Epoxy Resin. Look at this. Isn't that nice? I bought this at Kogetsudo, and this is exactly what I want to do, is put water in the corner of model. So I'm going to be using this to do the water. So what I will have to do is get like some plastic, kind of tape them together on the edge, and fill this up. And the guy told me to use some Vaseline to make sure that this stuff doesn't stick to the plastic. For the plastic, what I'm going to use is just like a clear, like a clear cover that came off of like a tray of sushi from the grocery store. Cut that up into strips and just kind of tape them together to hold this in place, and let the resin dry and become hard. So this is going to be the acid lake. This was going to be looking pretty nice, hopefully, once this is finished. So anyhow, this is just an update on what is going to be happening.